Hello everyone, it's Cherie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on some patched pages or Franken pages, however you like to call it. And I also wanted to make sure that I added some book illustrations. So I went through my little pocket folder that I have of different illustrations and pulled out a few that I thought I would want to use. And I was shooting to do at least 3 pages, which is what I did. So I'm just kind of looking through this pile, and I picked out 3 that I was going to try to work on. So this is something that I really enjoy to do. It is heavily inspired by Sheila Toro. She will do, I think she calls them patch pages, and I just love it. It's so much fun. I love it because you get to use up your scraps, and then when you're done, your pages are already interesting and part of the work is done for you to some extent. So the first one I'm going to do is this one of this little girl, and she's sitting at her tea table with her dolly, and I'm going through my little envelope of cutoffs from my 12 by 12 papers. I know that my pages, I'm wanting them to be at least 8 by 6, no bigger than that, but it's okay if they're smaller. So I just dug through my folder and I found this little this scrap here that's 12 inches, so I know I'm good there. And then I'm just looking at the height. So I've got my little bins of scraps to the left of me, and then in front of me you can see I've got a pile of 6 by 6 papers as well, which is another way that I like to use up my 6 by 6 papers. They work perfect for making these little patch pages. And then that little baggie there is just a bunch of scraps that have like lined paper on it. I think it says Creative Memories on the baggie, but I'm not sure if it is Creative Memories or not. It's just a little pack that I had got at a scrapyard sale. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this little page down, and I'm not necessarily worried about the height at the moment because I know that I can trim it down to be the height that I want. And then I have this 6 by 6 page. I think it's a Stampin' Up paper, and I don't know if it's a 6 by 6 Stampin' Up paper or if it was just cut down that way. I actually purchased that at a yard sale too. So I'm going to use that little lined piece there and put that on the edge. So when I'm making these pages, I'm actually thinking about, okay, I technically have 2 pages here because it's going to be scored and folded, and but I have 4 sides. So I am more focused on the side that I'm working on, but at the same time I'm looking at the back side to make sure that it flows as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down to be the height that I need it to be. And then I just use my glue stick to tack the stuff on where I want it to be, and then I stitch where I stitch it to secure it. But if you don't have a sewing machine, you can always use extra glue. And then I wanted to add like a little something extra, so I had this little scrap of fabric, and I'm just gonna make a little wonky pocket at the bottom. And I realize that it's not straight, and I'm not trying to keep it straight because I like the look of things being imperfect. I feel like it adds a little extra character and it's more me. So I just stuck on another little piece of fabric just to give it a little extra, and I'm going to go ahead and just stitch all the way down this so that it secures all my papers, and then I will stitch all the way around the other pieces as well, which I cut out the majority of the sewing because it would just take forever. So this is my page. So technically I have 4 sides, but 2 pages. And then I went with this illustration, it's super cute, and it was just calling my name, so I went ahead and used it. But I didn't want to mess up the back side, that other little illustration. So I'm just going to go ahead and look through my 6x6 paper pads, and then I'm just going to pull my larger scraps out and see if I can find any that go with the colors of the illustration. And I found this one, and that is a October Afternoon paper. So these pages, these patch pages, I feel like they're a little bit more involved than Franken pages, I guess you would say, because I think with Franken pages it doesn't really matter what you put down, you just throw it down, and with these I'm more aware of what colors I'm matching and the order in which I'm putting my pages. So I think patch pages is probably a better term than Franken pages. So I'm back to these little, I don't even know what they are. They're just lined paper, scraps of lined paper. And this is just a 6x6. I think it's either Maggie Holmes or crepe paper, 6x6 paper pad. But I like the blues and then the greens that were going on in the illustration. So I was looking for blues and greens to go along with it. And I had this piece here, and it was a 12 by 12 that was cut off, and then I had folded it, and it's just been in my bin, my scrap bin, for ages. So I decided that I would just leave it folded and make a pocket out of it. And this 6x6 paper, it's white on the opposite side, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me because I like to think of it as an area that I can cover it up with, you know, whatever I'm going to be journaling about, or maybe put a photo on there, or if I have maybe a napkin that I want to decoupage on it, on the white spaces. So the white spaces don't really bother me. So I'm going to go ahead and just tack this lined paper down, and I wanted to make sure that my illustration stayed on one side of the page, that when I went to score it, that part of it didn't end up on the other side. So I go ahead and just stitch around this folded piece of paper here and make it a pocket. Nothing too involved, just super easy and fun. And then I have that little gap, you can see that gap there, that I know I need to fill. So now I'm going to go ahead and just trim down my height, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't stick my pocket above too far. So I needed to trim down my height to make sure that my pocket was where it needed to be. And I think that looks good. So now I'm going to try to fill in this gap. And I'm using the same little scrap that I used on the left side of the paper, but it was just a little too small. So then I had this little strip, I think it's from Graphic 45, and it just happened to go perfect. And the back side was green, which would match the apples on the other side. So it just went perfect. So I just go ahead and glue that down, and then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and just stitch all the way around these little pieces. And there's the opposite side. So see, it kind of, you can imagine it folded, it works. And then my little illustration, I knew I wanted it to be a pocket, but I did not want to stitch around it. So I just tacked it on with some Fabri-Tac, is what I had on my desk, so I just used it. So I go to score at 6, and I just wanted to see, and it was good. It's going to be on one page. So I was just making sure that my illustration wasn't going to be on the other page as well. And then I was looking at that corner, and I just kind of felt like it needed a little something there. And so I just grabbed some washi. And plus it would help hold the stitches in. And I like how that looks. Looks like a fun page to journal on, right? So you guys have to tell me, I do 3 of these. Let me know which page is your favorite page. I'm just kind of curious. I think this one might be my favorite. So when I turned it over, I didn't want, there was like just a little spot of white on the other side. And I just kind of wanted to cover that up. So I just put some washi on that as well. And I feel like it worked out good. I think it's really cute. So then this is the last one, and this is actually an illustration from a vintage oil painting book. It's either the 60s or the 70s, like how to oil paint. And it's just so pretty. All the little illustrations in there are so pretty. I wish I could paint like that. It'd be fun. So I'm just going through my, like I said, my larger scraps and trying to find my base. And I like using these because I'm already good for my measurement as far as width goes. Then I just kind of have to worry about height. So I just wanted to make sure that it was not too tall. And I had this little piece here, and the flowers, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but there's like little pops of blue in that image there. And I just used this little scrap here to make the blue flowers pop out even more. So I just stick that down there, and now my page is a little tall, which is not a big deal because I can either trim it from the top or the bottom. And of course I went with the top. Sometimes I do the bottom. Sometimes I do the top. So now I have to work out what I'm going to do for the other side of the page. And I had this large scrap of ledger paper. And I thought, why not? Let's just go ahead and use that, because I'll use ledger papers too. But I wanted it to have a little, it needed a little more color, I guess you could say, on that side. Just a little extra something interesting. So the opposite side will be basically like a writing page with the ledger. And then this page will also be writing, but like I said, I wanted it to have a little extra. So I just pulled my little bin of smaller scraps and dug through that. And then I'm going back to these 6x6 paper pads, which I really enjoy using them for this particular project. Like, I will use 6x6 fairly regularly. I've been trying to do better with it because I have a lot that I need to get through. But this is just a fun way that I like to use them. So I really like this little piece here, but I wanted just a little, I just need a little something extra. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down my ledger just so that my page is the size that I need it to be. So I'm not making a mistake when I go to put that other scrap down. That it all lines up pretty good. And then I just trim it, and then I have my page. And so that back side there, that is something that I feel is inviting to work on. You basically have a little bit of a base, and it's kind of getting you going. So then I really like that green paper with those little tiny florals on it. And so I just wanted to go ahead and add just a little pop of that on there. And then I decided that I wanted to give it a little zigzag stitch for a little added interest. And I wanted to make it a pocket. So I stitched that little green piece on, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my stitching all the way around on this one. So it looks like a really fun little page there. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at 6 inches. And when I did that, my ledger paper kind of ripped a little bit. But you know what? It's not a big deal because I can just throw a little fun piece of washi on there, and then it's good to go. And the washi makes it even more interesting. So you can see the writing space with the pretty blue on the back, and then you open it up, and that's the page that I was focused on, and I made that little scrap piece there, a little pocket. So it's like a little tuck spot. Put a photo or tag or whatever in, and then I have lots of writing space. And these are the 3 pages that I made with my illustrations. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that everybody is doing well. And yeah, leave a comment. Let me know which page was your favorite page. And I hope that you guys have a really blessed day. Thank you so much for watching.